How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be talking about Stranger Things Tales from Hawkins, issue 1 of 4. And this is a brand new Stranger Things book put out by Dark Horse, and overall I'm really excited for it. This appears to be a Stranger Things anthology comic. That sounds pretty cool. It looks like we're going to get a new and unique story every single issue, hence the Tales from Stranger Things. And yeah, this issue ends with a solid definitive the end, and I'm wondering what kind of issue we're going to get next time. The fun mystery of an anthology series, and also the fact that being shorter, you can do a bunch of kind of off-the-wall series, and I am curious what that will look like for Stranger Things. In general, I have really liked the Stranger Things tie-in comics, but they've always had kind of a problem that the Stranger Things universe is realistic characters in a relatively small setting. It's hard to do a tie-in story where the characters in the show wouldn't mention it later, you know? So it is kind of hard for the Stranger Things comics to find a way to fit in and tell an interesting story without stepping on the main continuity. And I really wonder, after the show's over, you know, they're still gonna do the comics. I bet they're gonna get pretty wacky. But that being said, I think with anthology, we can fit in a lot of these really interesting little stories. And the first one, well, to be honest, the first one's okay. We get to find these two hunters, and they're from Season 1. If we remember in Season 1, they talk about how there were some hunters that went missing, and we do see one of their dead bodies in the Upside Down. And this is one of the things I remember when watching Season 1, that it was odd that we didn't get to see these hunters. You know, in horror movies, you always do want to show all the cool kills you can, and I always did think it was kind of odd that we didn't get this story. Now, that being said, it's not a super surprising story. You know, you kind of know, okay, these are the hunters we heard went missing in the show, and here they are going hunting. You kind of know the Demogorgon's gonna come out and attack them, and it's not a super big surprise. I would have liked if there was something a little more with these characters that I wouldn't have thought they did. Something, you know, I mean, we do get the sense that they were really good friends. That's always nice, and I think one of them, their wife or something, has cancer, which is a little bit more of a backstory. And always there's something hunting you in the woods. That's always a fun story trope. But that being said, this issue definitely does suffer from knowing exactly what's going to happen from the moment go. But there is some nice moments, some good character beats, and it still is a classic story. It's just not super unexpected, but hey, for a short little one-off, like that's actually a really good example, is 4 issues on these random hunters. That would be a little much. But as part of an anthology series, yeah, we can do an issue on it. So it's not the biggest, most important, most unexpected thing, but hey, fun enough, right? So, like I said, just kind of the hard part of doing a Stranger Things comic, but I am really curious what the other issues will be like, what stories we will tell, and if there's going to be one just super out there story. Fingers crossed for that. But anyway, if you guys want to see a little more of the story and the art, I'm not going to be doing any major spoilers, but if you want to take a closer look at this book, I'm going to switch to the close-up camera and we'll look a little bit at the physical release. So without further ado, let's go to the close-up camera. Alright, here we are inside the castle taking a closer look at Stranger Things, Tales from Hawkins. Let's go ahead and bring this close to the camera. We can see the 1 of 4 again, I always really like knowing how many issues are going to be in a plot arc, even though this really is more of a collection than a plot arc. We see that I do have the A cover here, and overall, a pretty good cover. We get the two Hunter characters here, and behind them, we get the Demogorgon's face as kind of a splash pattern. However, that being said, from a distance, it looks like they're standing in front of the Canadian flag for whatever reason, and we get the Netflix logo at the top. Open it up, and we do get Stranger Things Tales from Hawkins Chapter 1. Kind of surprised they just went with Chapter 1 instead of giving this a unique story name. This is where the previously on would normally be, but with Anthology, you don't really have that, and with Chapter 1s, you don't normally have that. But we get kind of an introduction to what the characters are going to be like. And we get script by Jody Houser. She wrote a lot of the Stranger Things comics. And art by Caio Filipe. Not 100% sure how to pronounce that. But anyway, after that, let's get into the story proper. Like I said, not going to be doing any major spoilers, but do want to say my piece on a few plot points, show you guys some of the story and the art, and let's just take a bit of a look into this comic. Anyway, we open up with the two friends meeting each other, and it turns out they both brought beer this time around. They thought it was their turn, both of them, so now they got a whole lot of drinking they need to do, and they talk, and you get the sense that they're good friends. I do wish we got a little bit more with how these characters meant, and a little bit more with their personal histories, but we know they're buddies, but, you know, we don't know too much about them. We do get to see, you know, the one in the orange inquires as to someone named Val, which I guess would be his wife, if she's done with the chemo yet. So, yeah, we do have a little bit of a personal tragedy. But we also get these yellow boxes, and the yellow boxes will be a bit of a narration, and you'll get to find little insights like they talk about, yeah, they're hunters, but they don't normally kill anything. It's just an excuse to get out there and drink more than anything else. But you'll also get, you know, the classic dialogue of the hunter becoming the hunted and how tough the Upside Down is. But of course, they find some blood in the woods, and this will lead to the discovery of a dead animal there. And they say, I heard no shots. What was this, a wild animal or something? And they begin to suspect that something is in the woods and watching them, and they have to go out and, you know, actually hunt it, be hunters. Well, when they suspect it's stalking them, the guy in the orange says, I'm gonna get on the hill and you try to draw it out. And he's like, you want me to be bait? And of course, being separated is not a good idea, and they actually do have a line. If they had talked to some of Hawkins' younger residents, they would know not to split up the party. So, a little Stranger Things callback for us there. But of course, things don't go super well. He sees bloody scratch marks on a tree and begins to suspect that, yeah, splitting up wasn't a good idea. And of course, he will get attacked by the Demogorgon and pulled into the Upside Down. And there is a bit of a fun segment in the Upside Down, him seeing this world, and of course, you know, the tear behind it. And I do want to show this one last panel. That's a pretty fun panel, the Demogorgon going scree. So yeah, a fun story. Like I said, nothing too terribly surprising here. We can guess from what's said on the show how it's going to go. There is a bit of a nice end, and like I said, going through the Upside Down is always fun, and they explored a little more than you would have thought. But that being said, it is a story that you pretty much know how it's going to go. So for an anthology, it's probably a good thing. Like I said, 4 issues with these hunters. I mean, you would have had to introduce something big to go with it. Make it be like, oh, you didn't know the hunters are actually super important characters, but I don't know how you would do that. So rather than getting 4 issues, I think this is good for an anthology tale. Yeah, not the best thing ever, but one-off, it's fun, why not? I am curious what else we'll get. These are kind of random smaller characters, and to be honest, it actually does feel like something I'd see out of a Star Wars comic. It is kind of funny, the similarities between the Stranger Things and Star Wars universe. The side material really does fill out a whole lot of the extra space. So I am curious what we're going to get in the future. Really, anything could be in this book. Overall, a fine first issue, not blown away, but, the series does look promising, and I will be picking up the others, and hopefully I'll get to reviews of them, I hope. Anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my Stranger Things playlist. I've talked about the first couple comic arcs in there, and I should try to get to the rest of them. But I did, the first one, The Other Side with Will, and I did the 6 story, and the sequel to that, Into the Fire, should be in there. And I even covered the first 2 of the kids' graphic novels in there. So if you want to see me talk about more Stranger Things comics, those should be in there. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Stranger Things playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.